Hey everybody, Mark over at Twanger's Turntable. Cheers all. Hope you're all doing well. This finds you well. Everybody out there in the BC, YouTube world in general. Jumping on here for a contest for Logan. Logan over at Murmur Than Hell, celebrating 800 subs. That's amazing. Actually, last I checked, I think that was about a week ago he started this. This being the 23rd of November, I think it was about a week ago. He was at 824 the last I checked just here today. So that's amazing, Logan. Congratulations. That's an incredible milestone. And I've actually been subbed to Logan's channel for a while. I'm guilty of not watching a lot of Logan's videos. Unfortunately, I could say that about many members of the VC. That's my bad. I just don't spend a lot of time. I get in this almost like a tunnel, a one-way track, if you will, or just a. And I watch 2 or 3 channels, and I don't watch much else. I don't have much diversity. But I was just mentioning today on another channel that I'm hoping to rectify that and turn over a new leaf, if you will, and try and broaden my VC spectrum of channels that I watch and diversify. There's lots of great knowledge out there. Anyway, I digress. This is for Logan, Murmur Than Hell channel, 800 subscriptions contest. So I'll just go off the criteria as I understand the criteria. It's a response to the video, comment in his video. I will leave a link to the contest video, and you just have to leave a comment below that video, letting Logan know that you've done a video, that I've done a video. So Logan, I will do that, obviously. Next criteria, as a self-titled album, self-titled band or artist album that is not their debut. I was going to go with the Black Album, Metallica, but I decided to go with the 6th album, at least with the replacement vocalist, who happened to be also their drummer, and just a self-titled Genesis album from 1983. And now I've seen on a number of occasions this album take a lot of crap and not up there with some of their other titles. And I can pick good and bad that I like about both lead vocalists, whether it's Peter Gabriel or Phil Collins. Phil Collins is more in my wheelhouse, but that's just because of the time that I was introduced to Genesis. And at the time, this album would have been played, just almost ad nauseum, but I don't get tired of it. Every song on here is good, in my opinion. Of course, there's the controversy with Illegal Alien that kicks off side 2. But there's so many good tunes on here. Mama, That's All, Home by the Sea, and Second Home by the Sea. I actually love both of those. Maybe it's because I grew up by the sea. I don't know. But Taking It All Too Hard, that's, kind of a ballady track that I'm not usually big on ballads. Just a Job to Do is great. Silver Rainbow. And then it finishes off with It's Gonna Get Better. So a self-titled album that is not their debut, Genesis from 1983. And so for the gatefold, top to bottom, showing an image top and bottom as opposed to opening up the gatefold left to right. The first one that came to mind for sure for me was The Hermit on the Mountain. For those of you not familiar with The Hermit on the Mountain, it's Zeppelin 4, their 4th album. I've got 3 versions of this that are all slightly different. This is probably a mid 80s reissue, early 80s reissue. You notice the lamp there, it's got the glow. It's a bit of an orange glow. The beams glowing sort of yellowish. This one here is even an earlier pressing. I believe this is from the 70s, this one here. And it's the rays from the lamp glowing are a little more red, definitely red glow, with the David Star there in the lamp. Well, what looks like the David Star anyway. I don't know. And then my reissue I just got this year. It's a slightly less intense glow from the lamp, and it's more of a almost like a gold color glowing from the lamp on this one. But that's the first one that came to mind for me was The Hermit on the Mountain. I mean, Led Zeppelin 4. I mean, it's tough not to think of a more iconic gatefold. of course, I know that's very subjective to one's age, or not even age, one's maybe even listening preferences, where you focus your where you get your listening pleasure. I mean, I know there's lots. Even when I was growing up, I couldn't fathom people not liking Led Zeppelin, but that's a very limited way of thinking, right? I like to think that I'm a much broader thinker, more open-minded. I know lots of people don't like Led Zeppelin, and that's cool. But that was the first one that came to mind for the open top to bottom gatefold. Um, yeah, but why not go with that one? And I'm sure that's been shown lots, Logan. I don't know, but it's just the first one that came to mind, so I just went with it. The low-hanging fruit, if you will. I don't know, but great album nonetheless. So third criteria. Now, I'm not sure if I got the acronym correct here. My apologies, and no offense to anyone. That is the furthest thing from my intention. I'm just not sure what the acronym is, but it's the LGBTQ, and something that represents the LGBTQ community as a whole, whether that be the artist or something. But I went with the artist, and of course, I went with Judas Priest, Rob Halford, of course, and this is the reissue of Rock'n'Rolla, their debut, and it is on that colored vinyl. It's a really good sounding record, and again, not to be a contrarian, but this is actually one of my favorite Priest albums. I mean, run of the mill. It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, Deep Freeze, Winter Retreat, and I mean, just wow. The whole entire album is good, but it's not about that. At least in this instance, it's about Rob Halford and recognizing the LGBTQ community. I think the acronym has changed now. I'm not sure. Full disclosure, I don't know. That's on me. But yeah, I went with that for that criteria. And the fourth criteria, I guess, is the final one, aside from, I guess he did throw in a bonus to do a band mashup, band name mashup. But the final criteria is a bad press LP, sound or art, something you're not happy about with a certain pressing. This one has got nothing to do with sound and everything to do with essentially the label. It's the reissue of Raven, All for One. So I love Raven. I love all their early stuff. In fact, that was one of the first bands I had a significant amount of cassettes on. Their first 4 or 5 albums, right up to The Pack Is Back. I had them all on cassette. But if you look at this one, it's on the covered vinyl as well. If you can look closely, pause the video maybe so you can see that. I hope you can see it. So this is the All for One pressing on the label. Wow. Let me start by apologizing for this crude edit. I was recording and I didn't even realize till my video was done, my microphone here had died, it cut out. Hence the reason for the crude edit. So I'll pick up where I left off. I was doing Raven, Wiped Out, as the bad pressing. Not even a bad pressing, it's just the label of my album, All for One. So this is Raven's third album after Rock Until You Drop and Wiped Out. So this says Wiped Out, and the track listing on the label is all the listing for Wiped Out, but on the actual, most importantly, on the wax, the tracks are from All for One, and they are in the correct order for this album. And it was nice to get this, like I say, because I would like to redo my old Raven collection I had right up until their 5th album. The Pack Is Back. I had their 4th, Stay Hard. I had this one, All for One. As I mentioned, Wiped Out, and their first one, Rock Until You Drop, with the Gallagher brothers, and great album. So yeah, that's one album or one pressing I was disappointed with, but I don't want to send it back. I mean, like I say, most importantly, the music on the actual vinyl is fine. Nothing wrong with it. No reason to send it back. And I've read online that there's multiple issues with that pressing, so who's to say I wouldn't go through that numerous times and not be any further hit. So I just left it. It's fine. So that's about wraps it up for Logan's contest entry here. Murmur Than Hell is 800 subs. The one bonus, I guess, was the band mashup thing. So I don't know. I just thought a couple of names here that I wrote down of mashups could be. Well, you could take Judas Priest and Kiss and make it Judas Kiss. How about Aerosmith and Motorhead and do Arrowhead? One that has probably been done many times, Metallica and Megadeth and I don't know, Metallideath. That one, that's weak. That one's not very good. Or the Stones and the Beatles. Hey, there's always that debate of the Beatles or the Stones. To me, it's both. Why not? I like them both. So Stoned Beatles or Beatles Stoned, Rolling Beatles. I don't know. Anyway, that's my entry. I hope I met all the criteria, Logan. I enjoyed doing this. Again, congrats on 800 subs. That's amazing. I have no doubt you'll surpass 1,000 soon enough. And even by the time this contest is done, I suspect you'll probably be around 850 or so. Who knows? But I also want to take a moment, if I may, just to give a shout out and a mention for Josh Keech, who's doing his Warrior in the Clouds Part 2. He's doing a playthrough on Saturday evening, so like tomorrow. Might even be today where some of you are seeing this, depending on when I post this. So check out Josh Keech if you haven't. Very talented musician here in the BC, guitarist, one of many, obviously, very talented. But he's doing a live stream tomorrow, Saturday, November 25th. So check that out. Just a shout out to Josh. He's always been very supportive of my channel, and as I like to say, support the other channels in the BC. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe or like or whatever. It's the least we can do just to support somebody else's hobby, passion, something we all enjoy doing. As Logan mentioned, just supporting the other members of the vinyl community. They're all great channels. So that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all for tuning in and joining me in my contest entry here for Logan. I hope you enjoyed it. Go over to Logan's channel if you have not been there already and check out some of the other entries. Good luck to everyone. Hope it will be a very successful contest just by nature of anybody watching and subscribing and throwing in an entry into the ring, the contest. And I'll leave it at that. I hope to see you again soon here at Twanger's Turntable. So until then, take care, everybody.